All right, I'm heading to the women's conference, the Massachusetts Conference for Women, I believe. This is the 8th annual one. This is actually my 3rd or 4th time going. It's actually really awesome. I'm gonna put some information down below so you guys can know about it. The mayor is gonna be there. They have Yara there. There's a lot of people that's gonna be there, but I actually have to run into the office really quickly and take care of something, and then I'm gonna head to the conference. So I'll keep you guys with me.
Whether that's with the person seated next to you, a prospective new employer, or even a date. Now I have your attention. After all, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And that's what Simon Sinek taught in his best-selling book, Start With Why. Simon is the author of 5 books and a leadership consultant who has helped many of the top nations, Fortune 500 companies, the United Nations, and the US military. As Entrepreneur magazine wrote of him, he's not just spreading ideas, he's leading a crusade with this worthy goal.
And for decades, there was a tradition in Vietnam that there was never any fighting on Tet. In 1968, North Vietnamese leaders decided to break with tradition with the hope of overwhelming the Americans with force and bringing a swift end to the Vietnam War. They threw 85,000 troops at over 125 targets that day. Here's the amazing thing. The United States repelled every single attack, every single one. Most of the major fighting had ceased after about a week, after which time the United States had lost fewer than 1,000 troops. The North Vietnamese lost 35,000 out of the 85,000 with which they attacked. If we look at the Vietnam War as a whole, America actually won almost every battle it fought. And where America lost 58,000 men over the course of those 10 years, the North Vietnamese lost over 3 million people. This raises a very interesting question. How do you win all the battles and decimate your enemy and lose the war? As it turns out, there's more than one way to understand concepts of winning and losing.
Wow, thank you, Simon, for getting us off to such a great start. Round of applause if you're feeling inspired this morning. Now, we are going to hear from a very special 17-year-old about an incredibly important and timely challenge that she has experienced personally and is now helping others deal with: mental illness. You no doubt have heard that anxiety, depression, and other forms of mental illness have been on the rise, especially among young people. Children today are more depressed than they were during the Great Depression.
Know that the things you do have an impact. And when it comes down to it, you have a choice. Bad things are going to happen to you, and they will never stop. I can stand up here and build myself up and hide behind all of my accomplishments, but at the core, I am still the depressed 12-year-old girl I was in 2014, and I'm now the 18-year-old girl who just officially left an abusive home on Thanksgiving for good, and the one grieving for a family that I can never come home to. Bad things happen to me. They will continue to. But no matter how many bad things happen, it's my choice on how I can go forward, and it's my choice on how I react.
Yes,
She later went on to star in the spin-off show Grownish. And just this year, she starred in the recent film The Sun Is Also a Star, which is the story of a young couple who fall in love while one of their families faces deportation. While Yara no doubt entertains us on the screen, she also uses her platform as an actress to bring important social issues to the forefront. She is a uniquely informed, passionate, and eloquent activist whose goal is to empower a generation of activists. In 2018, she co-launched 18 by 18, a new platform to engage her peers to vote. And she has continued to encourage youth engagement ever since.
Hi, everybody! Oh, hello, lovely humans. I am so beyond excited to be here today because I feel like today is a manifestation of actively building support networks. This gathering exemplifies, to be a little on the nose, the power of us. And see, if you've heard me speak for more than 2 seconds before, then I'm sure that you know that I'm a huge proponent of peer support and intergenerational support. Because I believe that the infrastructure of network building at the foundational level is actually the origin of social change in an objective and really real sense. Because when we're able to turn to history, we can bear witness to the fact that our struggles and our journeys and our collective success has fundamentally been at its core based on a group of people who are gathered and actively investing in one another. That moment of when I look at social media, none of the social media platforms we use were created by our generation. And I think the one thing my generation is fantastic at is finding the route to success. And so I think there's a weird cyclical being punished for finding a route to success in an infrastructure we've been handed and said is necessary.
Which one do you I want that big one. I'll wait until we get to the next. I just told you that. Were you divorced? I never Show her the key points. Which one? This also is the Palo Santo. It's a relaxation meditation burden. I'll put it in a gift set. I'm also going to add the card with the directions. Yeah, nice. Do you want to do the earrings in one bag or 2 separate bags?
Set sticks. When you find one that you like, is this enough?
It's mine. Sorry.
No, I'm gonna grab the base.
Oh, okay. Here you go.
Okay, so put it ready on that side for you. No problem.
Alright, you guys, so I made my own scent. Empower was the base that I used, but I'm gonna test it out with you guys right here. Sorry, I got a bunch of stuff in my hands. Trying to get to the bag, don't mind my hair. So this is my scent. Let's see what it smells. Oh, it already smells good. Oh. So I'm gonna put some on now. Look at me. So I started with the base, which was their Empower base, and then I added lavender and jasmine to it. It's actually really good. All right, you go, Shu. Out here designing perfume. See, this is the card. Can't really see it, but yeah. Oh, the base note that I have is totally edible. And then the top note that I put is called Peaceful, but it's chamomile and lavender. And I think I hinted jasmine, but yeah. All right, so I am going to see what else they have happening. I got some free stuff. I'll go do that later. Everything, but you said they're all handcrafted?
Yeah, they're all handmade by women who are formerly abducted.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's interesting.
Well, I really like the duffel bag, actually. I think I'm going to go for the duffel bag.
Okay.
Just watch
walking around with like the camera, and I'm just like, hey, by the way, hi guys. And
vlog and tag at Run the Runway.
There's actually a gala tomorrow, so I know a lot of people have probably made their way down here.
I'm quite excited and quite happy because I've been, looking for snow everywhere, and I was like, oh my god, I love it. And it was snowing in New York as well. I was in New York a day ago, but it's been nice, but also freezing cold, so I'm too scared to go out. But thank you so much to all of you for coming here, for giving me the opportunity to speak. And I am honored and I'm so happy to be among amazing and incredible women, leaders, entrepreneurs, young girls who aspire to change the world. So thank you so much for allowing me to come here and share my thoughts with you.
So my father was kind of a radical individual. He had some pretty radical ideas. He thought doctors and hospitals were part of this vast conspiracy by the Illuminati, which is why me and my siblings were born at home, and we were never taken to see a doctor. He also believed that public education was part of this big conspiracy, which is why I was never put in school. So I lived the first 17 years of my life in a world where the Holocaust never happened. And then on a kind of Thursday morning, it happened all at once. There's another thing that happened all at once for me, and that was the civil rights movement. There's another thing I just never heard of, having never gone to school. And I remember I was in the classroom, and the professor was telling us about this thing called civil rights. I didn't know what that was. And I remember him telling us the story of Rosa Parks. And I remember him telling us that she had been arrested for taking a seat on a bus. Now, if you remember, I didn't know anything about history of civil rights. I didn't know what he was talking about. So when he said that she'd been arrested for taking a seat on a bus, I understood him as saying, I won't do that again. I understood him as saying that she had stolen the seat. So it's kind of an unfortunate misunderstanding of to take a seat versus to take that seat. Some of you are getting it. So I was still wondering how she managed to get that seat loose. And I worked in a junkyard. I had some idea what was involved in this. And I was just wondering, how did she do that when that image overhead had it changed to a young smiling face of a young boy? And then I was asking myself, what exactly did she want with this old bus seat?
I believe that we will be four-time champions and keep winning until we not only become the best female soccer team, but the best soccer team in the world. And that a whole generation of girls and boys will go out and play and say things like, I want to be like Rapinoe when I grow up. And that they'll be inspired to talk and win and stand up for themselves. And I believe that we will make our voices heard, and TV shows will be talking about us every single day, not just once every 4 years. And that women will conquer more than just the soccer field, like breaking every single glass ceiling and having their faces carved on Mount Rushmore. And then we'll keep fighting not just to make history, but to change it forever.
I wore these crazy glasses because Kara Swift was interviewing me. So I had to get my vibe right, you know. I still just am in awe and just struck by all of you. This is crazy. People always ask me, where did you come from? And I'm like, oh, I'm from, and they're like, no, we know that. You have a Wikipedia page, Jesus. But given where you come from, where did you come from? Dust right before us.
Yes, exactly. All right, so why wouldn't you run for office? Why not?
Well, first of all, I think that I really, truly am not qualified to run for office.
Okay.
So it's I could run for office, but then everybody else would just be doing all the work. I would certainly be, up for hiring everybody else to do everything because I would have to, because I wouldn't know what to do.
Right.
But no, I don't think I'm qualified to run for office. And there has been, I think it was the first time I heard this, Rachel Maddow said a number of years ago, there's been this shift away from trusting people who have been in politics, as if politics is just like this thing you can like pick up at the store and do. No, you need to like be talented and like have knowledge of it and have experience in it to actually do the best job that you can for everybody in the country. It's not just about like this whole popularity contest or, you know, who's most recognizable or whatever. Like, do you think I would be a better candidate than Elizabeth Warren? I mean, oh my gosh, like, no.
Right.
Crazy. Like any of these.
Well, you do tweet well. That seems to be the main qualification.
Yeah. I am fast and loose with the tweets, so that's not as fast and loose as some. But.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of that, she did pretty well. She changed her description.
She took that shit down. That was so good.
She changed her description.
Yeah, it was so the best thing I saw about it was like, yo, these kids grew up in the internet. You will never outdo them. Like, this is like, there's just, I mean, it's just like, oh, it was just so brilliant. It was just so brilliant. She's so awesome. That's what I mean. Like, I feel like she's just like, no, I'm not living inside this structure of the system anymore. I don't need to like, you know, try to live up to all these standards that, you know, you'll just keep moving the goalposts. So she just is totally outside of it and doing her own thing, and maybe her Asperger's actually is a benefit of that. He's an idiot. I mean, he's just an idiot. Like, in the loose sense of it, like, oh, you're annoying, you're an idiot, but it's also just like, you're an idiot. Every person in this room, you know, picked up one piece of trash in all of Boston every single day that they went out. Like, it'd be a cleaner city, obviously. So if you think about it in terms of politics or having hard conversations or inspiring other people, like, don't worry about, you know, you're not going to be the president of the United States, most likely. So you can't have that kind of impact, but you can have massive impact and think the way that ripples. And then also, obviously, we have a lot of women in the room. Force multiply with each other. I think that there's so many more stories out there and so much more happening and more power happening with women than we really realize. And I think we need to, like I was saying before, like gain power from each other's stories and find those common threads. And at times it's difficult because you might be the only one in your job or very few, or you're sort of isolated in that way, but sort of take the experiences and the power that other women have for yourself, either as motivation or as protection, or as a way to then motivate other women and other people. Take that sort of into your daily life.
Perfect. Everybody, the shy and retiring Megan Rapinoe, who is not waiting in line.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Conference isn't over, but the last workshop I wanted to do, Lord, my hair, got filled. And so I was like, you know what? I've had an amazing day. I went to a lot of different workshops. I'm gonna go chill out before I have to go to class. So I hope that you guys enjoyed my video. Megan, I'm not even gonna try to say her last name, but her, the captain of the U.S. Women's Olympic soccer team, dope. Can I find her? I want her to be my best friend. Like, she literally is just dope. And the color of her hair, I need to go find that in a wig, because that purple, it was everything. But yeah, so the Massachusetts Women Conference for Women is dope. I'll be getting next year, maybe. I don't know. But hope you enjoyed my highlights. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.